Another issue you and I have spoken about in the past is about the nannies or the caregivers who applied for their visas under a pilot program which was launched in 2019 and 2020. And some of them, when they applied prior to the pandemic, are still awaiting approval or any action processing on their applications. A lot of those caregivers are now out of status. They do not have a valid work permit. They do not have medical coverage, and they are in a quite a dire situation. What's happening with those applications, Minister? Now they're even to the point saying that while the processing is taking place, if they can be given open work permits, at least so that they can fend for themselves here, if that could be done, they would be so thankful. They've done protests, they've met local members of parliaments, but nothing's really come to fruition.
Sure, and with respect to the pilots, we launched the pilots previously because we wanted to create a pathway for caregivers to come to Canada. Last year we made the commitment to process 6,000 applications, and I discussed this during an interview last night and confirmed with some of our staff today that we did complete the processing for 6,000 applications, and more than 4,000 people have landed in Canada through these programs. One of the things we need to continually look at is certain files are obviously on a case-by-case basis, can be more complex based on factors about the individual's application. But we also want to remind people that it's not just through the pilot program that caregivers can be admitted to come to Canada. We have a whole suite of different programs where people are able to fill gaps in our communities and in our economy, whether it's provincial nominee program. During the pandemic, we had the Guardian Angels program, we had the TR to PR program. We have a whole suite of products, lines of business that are available both during the pandemic and in ordinary times. To the extent that people are having challenges, and a big credit to Suk Dalawal, in fact, who's raised this issue with me before. We're going to continue to work on difficult cases where we think a person may be entitled to come, but for different reasons has had trouble with their application. But there are a significant number of people who've been admitted as caregivers as a result of these pilot programs that allow them to come and provide care.
But can they not be given some sort of a work permit at least so that they can start working legally and start at least making a livelihood?
I don't want to have people be in Canada and become destitute because of their immigration status. The challenges facing a certain individual may be different, so I want to be careful not to say I'm going to just issue in a blanketed way permits for every single person. I think we have to be a little more specific in how we deal with individual cases. To the extent we have people who entered Canada legally and find themselves in a challenging situation, then we obviously want to make sure that they don't become destitute, but we also want to protect the integrity of the system, because I think one of the reasons Canadians are so supportive of immigration is because they know the process of participating in the Canadian immigration system is a rigorous program that has integrity of the process. So as long as a person has been following the rules and is entitled to be in Canada, I think we have to make sure that we don't position people for failure as a result of factors outside of their control.